Hey everybody, D-Tang here with the house, and today we're going to show you how to bowl with a loose arm swing.
All right, so today we have Dayton Martin here, and Dayton wants to learn how to get his hand a little more behind the ball, maybe work the inside of it, and we're going to see if we can help him out with that. So, a couple of good things I do see here is his swing is relatively straight, and that's good. It's nice and compact to his body, and a couple of things that I would want to see out of Dayton here. I think we need to work on the fluidity of his swing. So I was taught growing up that fast muscle or loose muscles are fast muscles. So as we can see here, I'm going to stop the video on Dayton's step right here. You see how short his swing is, or his push away. Sorry. So when you have a push away this short, it forces you to use some muscles to get that nice high backswing that a lot of players try to achieve. And that brings a lot more muscle into play. So that makes it harder for you to get through the ball faster to increase your rev rate. So as we watch the video here, we see that Dayton kind of pulls his swing behind his head a little bit. And this is going to hinder him because he doesn't open his shoulders up a whole lot. It's going to hinder him from having the ability to get his hand more underneath the ball. So let's watch this video one more time, and we're going to stop it at the top of his swing. All right, so right here we can see at the top of the swing, the ball is pretty inside the top of his head. And usually we want it to be about in line on the way down, so it has what we call the slot to fall into nice and freely. And from here, it's going to be kind of tough because he has to redirect it around his body. And typically we like to try to get our hand on the inside of the ball once we're at the top of the swing. So if Dayton tries to get on the inside of the ball at this point, his swing path really has nowhere to go except for outside of his body. So if we look at this right here, his ball is going to have to travel out and about this way. And it's going to make it really hard for him to tuck his elbow into his side and keep his hand under the ball. So how do we fix this? I think, based on what I'm seeing here, I'd like to see Dayton lengthen his swing a little bit, lengthen his push away, to allow for the swing to drop on its own more freely, kind of like a pendulum. And if we have a free swinging swing, I guess, it's going to make it a lot easier for Dayton to focus on getting his fingers underneath the ball once the ball hits the apex of the swing, instead of him muscling the ball, getting it behind him, and then trying to force his hand to get under it. It'll come a lot more naturally. And I believe that if we can get this push away a little bit longer and have a freer drop from the start, it'll create a straighter swing as well. Now, one other thing that Dan can kind of work on is he can start with his shoulders a little more open to start as well, so he doesn't have to try to fight it as much when the ball drops. And that will allow him to tuck his elbow into his body on the way down and keep it nice and tight, as well as allow him to get his hand under the ball a little easier. So on the way down here, let's rewind a bit. His hand position, kind of a tough view right there, I'm sorry. So you can see he's on the top of the ball right here. His goal is to work the bottom of the ball and more on the inside of the ball, which is where a lot of the touring professionals share similarity there. And that's to create a little more roll in the front part of the lane, and more roll in the front part of the lane helps us control the flatness of patterns. So it doesn't matter as much when you're bowling on your typical league pattern, your hand position. All you have to do is get it going kind of in the right direction, hit the pocket, and if you're throwing the right ball at the right time, you're going to throw a lot of strikes. But on tour, it's not the case. We have to get our hands underneath the ball to get our balls to pick up, read before the end of the pattern, and control the break point. So if we can get Dayton's hand below this halfway point of the ball, or somewhat close to it, he will be able to generate more rev rate. His ball will be able to hook earlier, and it'll give him an opportunity to throw more strikes with more power. I'll watch this one more time. So Dayton, if you're watching, my suggestions are to lengthen your push away and make sure that your elbow is nice and tight to your body, which it is on the way back for sure. But stay nice and loose so that your swing can flow much freer and much straighter. And on the way down, you'll be able to tuck your elbow into your body much easier instead of having the ball end up behind your head and having your elbow fly around it and your hand being on top of it. So that is all the advice I have for you. I hope you're able to implement these things into your game, and hopefully you see some improvements and more strikes.
Hey everybody, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and if you're interested in having your own video reviewed by somebody in the house, make sure you click the link below for 50% off. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.